Hi, and welcome back to Thone's Nibbles, number 243, covering part of Revelation 5. And I say covering part, this is a pretty small part because there's a lot of important stuff goes on in Revelation 5. And we're talking about the scroll. I'm reading from Revelations 5, 1 through 7. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the scroll and to loose its seals?" And no one in heaven or in earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look at it. So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll, or to look at it. But one of the elders said to me, "Do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its 7 seals." And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders of the throne, and of the 4 living creatures, and stood a lamb, as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out to all the earth. Then he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne. And the question is, who is worthy? This is a question which I have to ask myself from time to time, even in this little ministry I have here. Am I worthy to do this? And usually I feel like I am, and sometimes I question it, but at any rate, here it is. Why is this in the Bible? It really shows the beginning of tribulation. Up to this point, John is the only person who is there and sees what's going on behind the scenes. But as Jesus opens these seals, then things begin to happen on earth. So this is clearly John in our past, long time ago past, in fact, maybe 1900 and some years ago in our past, is seeing what's happening sometime in our future. At this point, we don't know past, present, or future as far as the worshiping. That's an ongoing thing which we have to believe has been going on in some way since before creation. But now it's at this point it's different because there are humans there, the elders and so on, and some others we'll see a little later that are participating in it. But we don't have any idea when that was. I mean, it could have been, let's say, just a few years after John had this vision. I mean, he had to die to be there amongst the 12. But we really don't know. But now, when the scrolls are being opened, suddenly that sets a time for it, because we would know on earth that something was going on as he opens the scroll and begins to do these things. So it's the beginning of the tribulation. Only Jesus was worthy to open the seals on the scroll. Application to my life. All ask who is worthy to open the 7 seals of the scroll, and the answer was it was apparently the apparently dead lamb that was worthy, being the Lion of Judah and the Root of David. and the slain lamb. And he was given the scroll by the Lord, his Father. Okay. A little side note here about scrolls and so on. This is a scroll that's written on both sides. That was common in certain kinds of scrolls, and as I understand it, particularly scrolls that are like deeds and legal documents are often written on both sides, so that the signature on one side verifies the authenticity of both sides, so to speak. And there are 7 seals on it. And in Roman law, the most important documents had 7 seals on them. I mean, there were other levels of sealness. I mean, it was important to put seals on documents, particularly if you were going to then have a messenger and send that document to someone else, because the seal would show that someone else, that the messenger had opened the scroll. So sealed scrolls were a common idea in this time. The Romans were heavily into them, and in fact, lots of successful governments, the Babylonians had scrolls and the Persians had scrolls and so on. So it wasn't an uncommon thing. God says, though, this is a very serious moment. This is the beginning of the end, really. At that point, God is done fooling with those on the earth who refuse to change. It's done. So now he's beginning that final process. My personal response. Lord, dear Lord, thank you for having a plan to complete the separation between the saved and the unsaved. We see here the beginning of this process. Okay, serious business. So we'll talk to you next time.